We're going to talk about Bitcoin, why people are extremely optimistic, and why are people looking to short this back down to the floor. So hi everyone, welcome to the channel. If you are new, subscribe, bell button, like and comment now. First things first, obviously follow me on socials, links and all kinds of good stuff. It'd be good to have you. But let's talk about market cycles. Let's talk about why I feel that the next coming months and into next year is vitally important, and why I feel that analysts and people are kind of explaining the wrong narrative, in my opinion, of why people should be, buying Bitcoin at these really high levels. We're going to do some price analysis of Bitcoin, some realism, but ultimately some optimism as well, because I'm very, very bullish long term. Now, there's nothing worse than saying that, oh, buy at 14, 15k, whatever, or buy at 13k, whatever. It doesn't matter how much it is right now, because it might go up higher. You know it's going to be worth $1 million one day. Well, fuck off, because you cannot say that. You cannot physically, in my opinion, say that to anyone. You can't go to someone and go, if you buy this, it's going to be worth more in the future. You don't know. So please, if a certain influencer, I'm not going to mention any names because that's rude, that is telling you to buy Bitcoin because it's cheap, do some analysis yourself and then figure it out yourself. Because I personally don't like that. It's bad because these are the people that get new people on board, and when the shit hits a fan, those new people sell. Shit themselves, sell. Yeah. Anyways, moving on. If Bitcoin passes 14k, this is obvious, right? The reason why it's obvious is because there's fuck all over there, right? There's no resistance, there's no real support levels, because we've not really been there enough. So people are expecting a big, massive FOMO rush, and fair enough, it could definitely 110% happen. But it also might not. It's all probability. And people do comment on my socials and on my YouTube, go, it's all what if and why and when and how. Well, it's all probability. It's speculation. We are basically speculating on the market on bulls and bears and fights and resistance support and demand zones and supply zones, whatever. It's all what the market tells us and gives us. If there's a massive influx of volume, well, we're going to go up. If there's a lot of sellers, we're going to go down. So we've got to be careful of that, and that's the ultimate thing. But I want to talk mainly about this is because I feel that the market, and this is a really good article, it's a Forbes contributor article, it's a paid article on Forbes, I know. But there's some good points in here about basically we are mainstream now. In my opinion, I feel we are still mainstream. I've always said this, it's not mainstream enough for everyone to jump on board the ship, obvious, because no one does. You got to think in the world that not everyone wants to do what we do. Not everyone wants to invest in stocks. Not everyone wants to, buy certain properties. Not everyone wants to buy cryptocurrencies, for example, right? We've got other things happening. PayPal is a huge marketing thing. Huge for marketing. Use case also good, but ultimately marketing, yeah, not bad. You got footballers, more to the point, football clubs, etc. Sponsored by exchanges. It's a bit more friendly. They got Bitcoin logos on them. That's a big thing. Huge thing. I think if you ask 1,000 people on the street and you said, do you know or have you heard of Bitcoin? I reckon a vast majority of people will say yes. If you ask the question, have you ever invested in Bitcoin? I think the vast majority of people say no. If people say, well, it's a dodgy little thingy scam thing, then you probably have to educate them. But it's all about the narrative. The one thing that is happening, and I think this is mightily, it's bearish short term but bullish long term, is regulation. I think we need something to get trust of the masses, to be able to, make it easier for people to jump on. As you can see here in the bottom part of this, on ramping. So being able to buy cryptocurrency is much better and easier. I started in 2016. It was a nightmare. You should have seen it. But all this is kind of good. And then you got obviously the CBDCs. They're basically the stable digital currencies of entities, countries, whatever, banks, all kinds of stuff. It's starting to catch on. It's coming together. This is why I think this cycle here is like 2016, not 2017. I think we're going to go down a little bit and then we're going to go for a fucking hell of a run. Not financial advice, But that being said, I feel there's opportunities now in the next coming weeks, months into Q1 will bring some opportunity in altcoins and also in Bitcoin. So don't just buy at these tops. And we'll go over price analysis in a minute. So stick around. Yeah. Anyways, moving on. The 10 stages of a market cycle: hope, optimism, belief, thrill, euphoria. I feel we've already hit all those 5 in this year alone. When you go from the absolute shit heap of like a depression of COVID-19 crash into hope, into optimism, into belief, going thrill. Oh my God, we're going up to what? 13K? Fucking hell. You know, all that is kind of good. Then you got the obvious part of complacency. I think we're starting to get into the complacency side of it now. And then you're going to get a bit of anxiety because people are like selling and people are dumping and shitting themselves. Then you got denial, then you got panic and then depression. Personally, I think we're going to dip. I don't think we're going to dip that hard. It wouldn't shock me in the slightest to see us back at 10K. It really wouldn't. Like if I look at the price and look at the analysis, you think, oh, actually, the grand scheme of things from low to high, retracement, a 38% retracement wouldn't be a bad thing in my eyes. And it's certainly a good liquidity grab. It could go higher. Story time. I remember in 2017, I bought in 2016. I was up loads. I was like, this is amazing. Like I bought at like, I think it's $800, whatever it was. I went up to 4K and like, fucking hell. And it dipped humongously. It went from like 4K down to like 2K in a matter of like a week, right? I bought a load more. Best decision I've ever done. I feel we're at that stage in this year coming up. I think we're going to go up to this 13, 14K level. And I think we're going to dip down a good 30, 40%. In my opinion, that's not financial advice. I just feel that we're going to go back down to 10K. That's it. I just got that feeling that we're going to plug that gap and that's it. There's a lot of people saying we're going to go down to like 3K and go down to the last CME gap. I cannot see that as a possibility. There's too many bulls, there's too many buyers, there's too much interest now. There's too many people holding. Scarcity is a big factor. I see a natural normal correction, not a severe market crash. Unless COVID-19, lockdown, everything, and then everything crashes and it's a massive, massive world scale event of 2020, horrendous crashes, and it will be in the history books. That being said, somewhat unlikely, but we'll see. Okay, always plan. That being said, if that does happen, happy days, buy the shit out of it, you'll probably make a ton of money. Not financial advice. Moving on to some analysis. So this red line here, let's talk about this because this is vitally important. We understand it. My chart, hello. CME gap is down at 9,727, roughly in and around that range. I feel that isn't a bad place to be, in my opinion. I know people hate hearing this, but I do feel we are overstretched. I do feel that we are going to come down and retrace at some point. But a lot of people are going, oh, but actually we're going to go down to here. We're fucking not. Let's be honest. Unless things really change in the market, like really change. But a current market sentiment right now, that is not going to happen. That being said, biases can change. If news relations come out, if a big thing happens in the market, then it changes the market behavior. You may well find that if we are going down to 8K, 7K, 6K, you may find that that level is on the table because of X, Y, and Z with developments, fundamentals, news, all kinds of stuff. Just to make that clear. With that being said, current market conditions right now, if someone goes, we're going to 13K, I find it very unlikely, but it's not impossible. Remember that. So with that said, yesterday I was saying that we are very far away from the EMAs. The EMAs act as a magnet overall in the grand scheme, certainly my ones. They act as magnets. We've got to go back for cover, get some air. We did that yesterday. 5% drop, happy days. But let's talk about it. This red line is vitally important. If I zoom over, hello, it's vitally important. But if I go a little bit further, it actually is weekly closures of this region here. You're probably not seeing it yet, but you will now. The reason why I say this is vitally important, you look at this here, you put your cursor on it, weekly closure of 1, 2, 3 candles. Go to the monthly, it is bang on the nose, on the button, right? If I zoom that across here, hello, it's right on the nose. The reason why I'm not that worried about shorting this is because 1, I don't want to, and 2, these candles are much bullish, or more bullish essentially, than the previous levels from the past. Look at this weekly candle, monthly candle here, dog shit. Look at these, dog shit. Look at this, it's strong as fuck. That's a problem. It is a very strong bullish candle for a monthly close. This could, in 2 days and 13 hours, close here and be extremely bullish. We may go up even higher. So this is why I'm saying the next few weeks are very, very important. We've got US elections. We've got this candle. We've also got a strong weekly uptrend and a strong monthly uptrend. It's looking bullish as hell. Yet there's still people that are telling you that, yes, buy it, it's going to go higher. But we are in overstretched territory where it can be dippy, i.e. volatile, in my opinion. So we may well see these printed on the weekly and the monthly time frame, but there may be a bit of a laggard. This candle can turn around quite easily and still close bullish at around, 11,500, give or take, maybe even a bit higher than that. That's a big drop off. That's like nearly 2,000 off the price. If you buy at that level and you are in November and you're down $2,000, for example, in price, you're going to be a little bit panicky and you'll probably sell before the actual move, matures or confirms itself as a downtrend or a potential retracement for a further upward move. So this is why you got to be careful and always look at the higher time frames. For me, overall, I do feel we are going to retrace. I think that we are going to correct, but it all matters on a few things. Now, the reason why I'm saying that is looking at this time frame here alone, we have got a monster divergence here. We've got a real big high, okay, going into a lower period. So if I just draw a big old trend line here, this is high, this is going low, right? That's bearish. We've also got the price going upwards, okay? So that is one thing to make a note of, okay? One thing to make a big note of. The price is higher than the momentum. That could indicate a possible turn. This candle is showing that it has rejected and we're coming back down. Now, that being said, where can we go? When you look overall at this swing here, for example, in my opinion, it wouldn't shock me in the slightest if this white line is breached again, which is 12k. Strong resistance in the past will most likely make it very decent support, in my opinion. This level here is the one just above it. Personally, I don't think this one will really matter that much. So it all depends on that. I wouldn't be shocked in the slightest to see this go back down to 12k at least in the next coming weeks or so, in my opinion. Moving on to that though, if you zoom out and look at this entire move, we've only had one, in my opinion, one proper correction, which is this down to 10k, which is basically that 12,400 rejection down to 10k, got the liquidity, but we formed a gap. I think that gap is going to get breached again at some point. But moving on into the low to the high situation here, this is why I'm feeling a potential 30 to 40% retracement to 10k, is because this level is perfectly in symmetry with these tops all the way across, going all the way across. That is what I feel is going to happen, in my personal, honest opinion. We could actually go lower as well, down to the 618 levels, which would be absolutely savage if it happens. It really would. But at the same time, it would be a great opportunity. It would be an amazing opportunity because it will grab so much liquidity for the actual bull cycle, in my opinion, which will start next year. Elections are over. The dollar will probably be much weaker. Good for Bitcoin. And most importantly, the likes of PayPal jumping on board and other elements of regulation and better practice in the space coming next year. Certainly, we're seeing a lot of institutions buy up this cryptocurrency at a premium into this year, probably into next year as well, if we buy and get lower Bitcoins. So, let me know what you think. That's my overall thoughts on the market. I am a bit frustrated with people telling people to buy these tops. As much as it's annoying, I feel that if you do buy a top, it is incredibly risky. What I mean by a top is here. It's high. The opportunity throughout the whole year has been here to buy. I just don't get why you'd be investing right now. If you are watching YouTube, you should have a degree of knowledge and information on that. People are FOMOing in, people are making this price higher, but not to mention, it isn't just, buyers that make this go up in value. It's speculation as well. It's scarcity. It's other elements as well. It is valued as an asset. Remember that. So, my overall opinion, I think we're going to go down at some point in the next coming weeks. We're going to correct down to a nice 10k level, in my opinion, over the next coming months, I believe. I personally do not see us going all the way back down to 3,800 though. I really don't. If that does happen, wow, something's gone massively wrong. But that being said, it could be the biggest opportunity of your life to buy Bitcoin at a really good price, because in my opinion, when we go to 3K, we always go back up again, in my opinion. Even if that goes up to 8K, 9K, whatever, who cares? For me though, fundamental wise, this is cooked unless we pull back aggressively and we get a massive bout of liquidity around this 12K and we get sent beyond this level, which would then make a massive price discovery mission because there's a lot less resistance up there. So enjoy. Stop buying tops. You should be relaxing. You should be chilling out, watching this and enjoying it and taking profits and loving life, in my opinion. But that being said, a lot of new people coming to the market. If you're new, links above, check them out. And yeah, see you soon.